What's up guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make this.
Stop taking things so seriously. No one is getting out of this game alive, literally. In 3 generations, no one will even remember your name. And if that doesn't give you liberation to just drop your fucking problems and find some joy, I don't know what will.
So yeah, this guy's content has just been blowing up on Instagram lately, and he has a really unique editing style that I think looks really nice. And yeah, so I'm going to be showing you guys how to do 5 different editing techniques that he uses a lot in his content. We're going to try to use those 5 in this video that you just saw. And the 5 techniques are the inverted text, just some simple motion graphics, his Apple-esque use of Gaussian blur, some of the unique masking that he does, especially in like when you see it framed in like an old Macintosh thing. We're going to try to do that effect. And then the 5th one is the perspective text, so like the look that the text is actually in the scene, like on a wall or in space, not just straight on. So yeah, those are the 5 effects that we're going to be covering, and I mean, you've already seen them. You see what the end result's going to look like, so I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's do it. All right, so first off here, I already laid out the video. I picked this Chris Williamson quote that I think is cool. I chose some music, some trendy Instagram music for the background. I already have my movie clips here. And if you've seen his content, you know he mixes in a lot of movie clips. So I already got my clips here. I got my quote. So we're gonna be doing the effects. So obviously you gotta do that first. But so anyways, let's see what we start with.
Stop taking things so seriously. No one is getting out of it.
So stop taking things so seriously. So for this section, we're going to be doing the Macintosh green screen effect. So let's go ahead and take our Macintosh footage. I actually already have it here. And I just got this picture off of Dolly, the ChatGPT image generator. And I just asked them for a green screen, old Macintosh screen on a clean desk. That's pretty much my prompt. It's pretty simple. So let's go ahead and keep it on top of our footage, fit it to the size of the screen. Let's actually pick out how big we want it. We probably want it zoomed in a little bit more, something like that. Go to your effects, ultra key to take out that green screen, color pick picture. So you can see it's a little crappy. I mean, we'll fix the mask first. Let's go ahead and scale down the video so we can actually see how it would fit. Probably gonna zoom in a little bit more, but we can actually do that with an adjustment layer, just so that we don't have to keep going back and forth. Kick the camera. So let's go ahead, fix this mask real quick. I believe it's contrast. Yeah, there we go. So now it's fixed there. And actually, let's go ahead and nest these just so that we can adjust the entire scale of both elements without having to go back and forth. Think something like this would look good. So let's go ahead and add our text.
Stop taking things so seriously.
Stop taking things so seriously. So start with stop. So the font is Helvetica Neue Bold with the extra added bold on top, and then we close the characters by 58 so they're a little closer together. So let's go ahead and do that. Stop taking things so seriously. So we'll just do 3 layers here. Do taking things. You can decide how big you want it to. I guess let's go ahead and put all 3 together. Stop taking things so seriously. Go ahead and add a comma just for the feel. What we could do is we could even connect these and make that look kind of cool.
Stop taking things so seriously.
Sweet. So I like how that looks. Let's go ahead and I think these will be good captions to show the Apple-esque Gaussian blur and how just a little bit of Gaussian blur can actually change the entire feel of the edit. So let's go ahead and do this.
Stop.
Let's go ahead and make these come in at the proper time first. Taking things.
Taking things.
This we're gonna have to mask. Let's go to effect controls, opacity. Just use a square is fine. So obviously he says this word first. Let's go ahead and go no feather. Keyframe the mask path. So we're gonna start here. Let's listen for when he says things.
Taking things. things.
Right about there. So we're gonna add a keyframe, go over another frame, bring that into the mask.
Taking things.
There we go. Gonna do the same thing for this. Seriously, right about there. Go back one, make a keyframe. Just keep it the same so that it just jumps right away. There's no motion. You just see so seriously instead of it being dragged across. Go and take the mask, drag it again. Now it should look right.
Stop taking things so serious.
After we drag this here, now it should look right.
Stop taking things so seriously. No.
So that looks about right. I feel like this is off by about a keyframe. So let's bring that back just a second.
Taking things so seriously.
That looks good. What we can do, we can start adding in some Gaussian blur. I guess that'll ruin the effect of the overlay here, but I think it'll look cleaner with the Gaussian blur anyway. First, I kind of think just a little bit of Gaussian blur in general will make this thing look a little bit more realistic, like it's in the picture with the computer. So let's just see what that looks like first. Yeah, I kind of feel like just that tiny bit of Gaussian blur just over the top in general will make it look a little bit more realistic for whatever reason, just like it's actually in the picture. So let's go ahead. He stops saying stop right about there, so we can keyframe the blur. And at the end, we can go ahead and make this a decent amount blurry, maybe like that.
Taking things.
So he said he's done. Let's do it for the rest of the layers. Just see what it looks like. Stop taking things. This is where he ends saying taking things, so we can keyframe, go to the end. We don't want it to go super fast, like faster than the stop, so we can make it a little less blurry. Something like that.
So seriously.
And so seriously, we're gonna do the same thing, just make it just barely more blurry, just because there's not enough time between when he says in the end of the scene. 7, just barely. So let's see what this looks like.
Stop taking things so seriously. No one.
So I feel like that looks pretty clean. It's a subtle effect, but it really does change the entire feel of the edit. Here for this next one, since we're on a dark background now, we can actually invert some colors. Let's go ahead and do the inverted text effect.
No one is getting out of this game alive.
Let's do no one. And then all you do for this effect is go to blend mode and difference. And that's it. Pretty easy one. I'm glad this one caught on because it's easy to do for sure. All right, let's do the masking thing for this so it comes in at the right time.
No.
Probably right about there. Grab our Gaussian blur, and then we can also do a video transition dissolve, cross dissolve. Have this thing end right about here. And then we can just have it where it ends. So it blurs and goes out. Let's actually go to the end a little more.
Is getting out.
That looks good.
No one.
Okay, I have an idea.
Is
Actually, that looks good. If you just extend this a little bit more. Let's see.
Is getting.
Fades kind of fast.
Out. Is getting.
Actually,
Is getting out.
I think that looks kind of cool. Out of this needs to come next. So we'll put it here. Is getting out. Let's go ahead and duplicate this one again. Getting out of this. That looks good. Let's go ahead and add the word game next. We'll throw that over the top. Right on this marker. Again, we need the difference effect.
Out of this game.
Yeah, that looks good.
Is getting out of this game.
Then a lives right here, so we can actually just cut it.
Live.
And then change this to a live. Period. Make it a little better.
One is getting out of this game alive.
This, I think we could add a transform. Kind of give it a cool motion effect. So position. Let's go ahead and keyframe the end. Let's go back 6 keyframes, keyframe that. Drag this back so you can actually see. We'll drag it to the end in a second. Let's go ahead and do this, drag it to the left, just out of frame. You can drag, actually, let's keep it here for a second. So it does that, but see how it looks super crappy? It's just straight across. Go ahead and click this arrow and you can see your speed graphs. Go ahead and do something like this, so it's more like a curve in the middle. Add a shutter angle. And it just looks a lot smoother. It's more like a real, like something moving in real life, where it's faster or it's slower in the beginning and the end of the motion, obviously. And then if we do the same thing to a live, but have it come in at the same time so that it like they're basically swapping, I think that would look cool. So we just do it the opposite way. Give it the shutter angle, give it some motion blur.
This game alive.
That looks pretty cool.
This game alive. Out of this game alive, literally.
Yeah, that looks cool. So as you can see, it's starting to get that bymaximise feel. Let's go ahead and do our perspective text here, because we haven't hit that. What else haven't we hit? Let's go and type literally. Maybe we could do like right in this area. To me, the goal of the perspective text is to make it look like it's actually in the scene. And so I think what we should do first is add Gaussian blur. Let's go ahead and do something like that. Go to your corner pin effect, drag it on there, go to your effect controls, go ahead and just click it. And this is the easiest way for me at least. And you can just drag it and you can see how it changes in perspective. So if we want to, you know, you can obviously see how it affects the angle. So now it's kind of tilting this way. So I mean, let's try to just make it kind of look like the L is closer to us. And I think that kind of does it a bit. It is tough though, because if you do this wrong, the lines will cut off. As you can see, it's starting to get that feel. It's kind of a cooler effect if you can find like a wall or a flat surface to match it on. But I feel like it can still look cool this way, especially if you mask him and then put it behind. But that's something you have to do in After Effects, and I don't want to make this too complicated. But if you guys want to see like an entire deep dive into some of the After Effects stuff that bymaximise uses, like the rotoscoping, also some of their they're doing more complex motion graphics lately, with especially their text animations, which I've been doing a lot in my videos too. Let me know and I can make that happen, but I just want to keep this simple, keep it in Premiere. And anyways, also another thing I like to do is to actually blur the text from the back. So the part that's farthest back in the video, or the part that you're making look like it's farther away, you blur just to make it more realistic. So you can go ahead and take something like this and just add like 5 to 10 more blur, probably maybe more like 15 for this scene, something like that. And then you can just feather the crap out of it. Then it looks like it's blurrier farther back, and that makes it a little bit more real. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go through these next few scenes and add, I'm just gonna fill in the captions, do some of the caption effects that we've already done, and then I'll show you the section where I'm gonna do the simple motion graphic and just walk you guys through that so you can get an idea on how to do every single effect and not just watch the same effects over and over and over again. So let me go ahead, get those sections of the video done, and then I'll bring you back for the new effect. All right guys, we're back. I finished everything but the motion graphics, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what we have so far.
Stop taking things so seriously. No one is getting out of this game alive, literally. In 3 generations, no one will even remember your name. And if that doesn't give you liberation to just drop your fucking problems and find some joy, I don't know what will.
Not bad. There was one part where I did do something that I didn't cover, but it's pretty basic. So instead of doing a difference blending mode here, all I did was an overlay blending mode. I just thought it looked better. You can see the difference. There's a difference, and there's the overlay. I kind of just like how it goes with the sky a little bit more. But besides that, all the other effects were just the masking, the blurs, just the things we already covered, perspective, as you can see in this. So first I'm just gonna go ahead and nest this. I'm gonna do this. So that we can just get the 2 video layers. We're gonna nest, which makes it pretty much one video. And what I want to do is actually raise this a layer, and I want to put a white shape down. So we're just gonna go to the shape tool and drag across. We're gonna go to Essential Graphics, make it white, make it the size of this frame, get it underneath. So now there's a white layer underneath this, and what I want to do is after he says, and if that, I want it to zoom out, and then we can do like a different caption effect that's like around the border. You'll see. So we're gonna go ahead and grab the transform effect. Forgot to record my audio. Oops. Audio probably sounded different there for a sec, but we're back. All right, so now what we're gonna do is now that we have that white layer underneath this video, the way I'm imagining it and the way that I think Maximize has done it in their videos is they don't have the square corners on the video when it zooms out. So what I want to do first is grab the pen tool, go ahead, do a keyframe, go ahead and put one here, so that's the original one behind. Then this one's gonna be the pen. We're just gonna grab the corners and do something like this. Just do that on all of them. Try to get it as close to the edge as possible. Make it normal, 1 frame back. I thought I'd keyframe that, I guess not. So that it's how it originally was. Then on the next keyframe, it has the corners cut. And now what you want to do is you want to hold Alt or Option, but you want to drag it to the corner so that it's a smooth, it's a rounded corner. Go ahead and do that for all of them. Like that. So that looks good. Now let's double check, make sure that the last frame is normal. Now what we want to do is we want to nest this. Then we go to this frame where this happens. Let's go one before, just to make sure that it doesn't look funny. Throw the transform effect on. Keyframe scale, go ahead 6. Keyframe again, and this time we're gonna go to about 50%. So now it's half the size, and you can see the edges are curved. And actually, let's go into this nested sequence and turn the mask feather down. So I just double clicked, I'm in the nested sequence. Now you can go back to your main sequence. It just looks better. So now what we can do is we want to make this a little bit smoother. So go into your transform. We're just going to do the speed ramp again to make the motion smoother. I'm going to add the shutter angle. Now let's see what this looks like. That looks way better. Now let's go ahead and add the captions over the top.
Doesn't give you liberation.
Doesn't give you liberation. So let's split it up top and bottom. So we go. Doesn't give you. You can't see it because it's white right now. And change the color. Black. That doesn't give you. Go to the next word. I duplicated it. You can duplicate just by holding down Option and then dragging to the next layer. Liberation. And do something like this. Maybe we can make this like italicized just to give it some emphasis. Let's see, liberation should be there. Doesn't should be there.
Doesn't give you liberation to just.
So I think that's cool because it just adds another effect. Yeah, let's go ahead and mask this. Just like we did the other text.
Doesn't give you liberation to just drop your fucking problems.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. Few final touches I want to show you guys. Few extra pieces of advice. One other thing I want to do in this section that I think would look cool is doing a adjustment layer, just so that we can kind of zoom in while this is going. Grab transform, scale, and at the end let's just zoom it in a little bit. Let's see what this looks like.
Taking things so seriously. No one.
Another thing that he does a lot of is sound effects. So let me go ahead and open up one of my other projects just so I can drag and drop these sound effects I have. So if you guys want any of the footage to try to do this exact video for yourself, I have the movie clips and all the sound effects I'm going to be using in this video in a Google Drive link in the description. So click that, download the sound effects, take the movie clips, take the podcast clip, go ahead and try it for yourself, or just incorporate some of the elements into your own video there too. So now it sounds like this.
Stop taking things so seriously.
And yeah, just to show you guys one more time, this is what it finally looks like.
Stop taking things so seriously. No one is getting out of this game alive, literally. In 3 generations, no one will even remember your name. And if that doesn't give you liberation to just drop your fucking problems and find some joy, I don't know what will.
So yeah, guys, that is how it's done. I hope you enjoyed this for the first video. Subscribe if you want more editing tips. Let me know what other editing tips you want to see in the comments below. Remember to grab the video assets in the video description. Check out my Instagram for daily posts now. And yeah, like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.